Ooh, forgot to set this up. What's up, everybody? How are we doing this evening? Got a little bit of a setup delay here. Go ahead and dial this in. Get the camera set. Mic on. Get my act together. Get this live stream going. My wife's shaking her head, looking at me funny. It's okay. It's all good. We got this. Anyway, what's up, guys? It is Friday. I'm fresh out the shower and done with the day. Today, this is our last piece of the day before I kick it with my wife for the weekend. We're both looking forward to dialing it in. The season is changing. Things are changing for sure. Can feel it in the air, can see it. And the days are much shorter than they were what seemed like maybe 2 weeks ago. Quick turnaround. And yeah, the season, everything's changing. So moving into the holidays like we're in a rocket ship. It's crazy. It is so crazy, and soon it will be so spooky. All right, anyway. So today is another day for a live stream. My name is Coach Ryan with Project Fresh. I am a goofball, as you can tell. That's all right, because I'm totally cool with it. That's how I am. That's how I operate. And you can't be yourself. What's the point? Stay hydrated. And this particular live stream channel is primarily for current clients, current clients, folks who I work with in my business, which is specifically lifestyle, fitness, nutrition, accountability, coaching. We cover other areas in our business as well. Project Fresh is the business name. Fresh is the general model of what we do: health, wealth, attraction, relationships, marketing, a lot of those different areas. So Fresh stands for fitness and recreation, fitness and finances. R is recreation and relationships. E is education, always learning. We're dedicated to always learning to the day that we move on to be with the Lord Jesus, till the day we're done here on earth. S is sanctity, so we're talking about spiritual and soul health. And H is that catch-all that we like to say, that overall health. And that is Fresh. Tonight, we're going to be talking about rest. Very specifically, that will be the agenda of the conversation. I was doing some research online. Came across the work of the sleep doctor, Michael J. Breus, PhD. I'm not sure. This particular individual, I haven't seen or heard of him before necessarily. There are a few other things I came across. I was hoping to find some more statistical information, some more research-based. However, I wanted to also get some good facts as well. So we had some decent, some decent information to provide. And ultimately, I'll see if there is any further information we can give. I like to give numbers as well as information, because at the end of the day, statistics help, but ultimately I think stories are what we ultimately stay with. And I've got a couple stories for you today. So rest is going to be more than just what you might think as far as like sleep. We're going to get into more than that today. But I want to do a quick recap again as far as what this is for. I wanted to do it up front today versus wait towards the end like we did yesterday. This channel is primarily for my clients who I work with right now, clients who may need that extra level of accountability, may have questions, or very simply hurdles, situations that they find themselves constantly coming up against in my workday or their workday, or our schedules just may not match, or for whatever reason they just need that extra bit of time. I use this channel, to answer questions live. So we've got our live chat open. Our first episode, we couldn't figure it out, so we didn't have a live chat. If you ever happen to go back and check out our first video, but we got that live chat figured out. And with everything else, we have been working through the ins and outs of making this better. And so we have advertising going. Dear God, hopefully we'll be able to still connect with people with this election going on. I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm over it at this point. We know what the potential is. Definitely not interested in the current individual who's in. Don't care for him personally. The alternative, although he's in the party that I've historically voted in, not really fancy for him either. So might be a write-in year this year. We'll see. Still have a little bit more research to do before we get there. But with that being said, the reason why I bring that up is that we are looking to bring clients in. So if you have family or friends or those who are ready to get serious about their health or lifestyle, they know today's the day. They know that they're the ones who are in control of their health, their life, and everything that's included with working on a better and a more improved and enhanced, a more desirable lifestyle. That lifestyle directly impacts your life. We aren't going to be able to impact your life. You'll be able to cultivate a lifestyle that should bring about over time the impact you're looking for. Impact may not be the word I need to use, but perhaps uh, the desirable experience you wish to have in your life. Okay, so there's a lot that can be added to that. We customize per client, per each individual. Will have an actual customized plan based on your goals, objectives, your hurdles and challenges that you're facing, and we also look at the next 30 days and 90 days typically in the programming that we do. Our small package that we have offered here, it's a custom service package. It is those three things, specifically a 30-minute call where we do goals, hurdles, 30 and 90 day long range, short range, long range plan, build a foundation, start looking at building the tower in the 90 days. My analogy is that's my background in civil engineering. Our medium package is our spooky and spicy package. So we've got some lovely pumpkin spice Shakeology available for the one who takes it in our raffle next week. We're going to have a special announcement about this, so make sure you're back next week because things are going to get really interesting next week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So you'll want to be back next week for sure. Let's see here. And then our large package, with that small comes a fitness plan and 21 days of accountability as well. So there's more than just that. We make that medium a larger package. And then our large is our current pilot program, 6 weeks. We're focusing on moving into November, making a solid 6 weeks leading into the Christmas holiday, the end of the year holiday, where you are maintaining and hopefully gaining in lifestyle habits. We're not just going to focus on your fat or your pounds or those kinds of things. We're going to be talking about lifestyle habits that in the hardest of times in the year, which is the holidays, when it comes to maintaining the figure and health you desire, which can be a season of detriment. My father unfortunately passed, I think it was about 12 or 13 days before Christmas back in 2017. It can be a season of challenge and hardship for health and families as well. We'd all hope and wish that wasn't the case, but very well could be. We really, if let's put it this way, if quality of your health is absolutely desirable to you, then you're in the right place. If you care to, fudge, or if you're fine with fudging here, fudging there, total loose and flexibility, no particular goals or objectives right now. The shirt's fitting a little tight, the pants are fitting a little tight, maybe getting up the flight of stairs and breathing heavy is a thing, but it's no big deal to you. There are more important things in your life right now. That's fine. This channel probably isn't for you at this time. I would encourage you to subscribe, though. We had another subscriber this week. Thank you so much. I would encourage you to subscribe, though. I'm finding out on YouTube it's absolutely difficult to get people to subscribe. So, yeah, we're going to figure it out. Well, we're going to work on our content. We're going to do the best we can, and we're going to look to seek to find the areas and challenges that you guys face so we can be effective in what we do. That's what a good business does, is they solve problems, they meet the clients exactly where they are, and they assist their clients in moving where they want to go. And sometimes giving them good questions that would perhaps create course directions or changes, course corrections rather, that would steer them in the way that they want to go. Anyway, large package, 6-week transformation program. It's our pilot program. It works well. It's helped thousands of individuals, this particular program. and we are confident that it can assist you. If you're ready to go, if you meet the requirements, if we feel that you're qualified for the program, or should I say, it is a program that would fit your needs and you match with that, then we're good. So we're going to be bringing people that we're advertising in here soon too. So I'm really hoping to get this more live and ready to go and really make it an active part of our week. Okay, all that being said, let's get into rest. I think I've covered everything that I need to. I took a little bit more time than I wanted to. Hold on a sec. Okay, so a couple people outside fighting about whatever. Who knows what they're fighting about? Friday night, it is what it is. So, anyway, I wanted to get right into it. So, we're talking about rest. Now, you might think, well, okay, Ryan's a personal trainer, he's a coach. He's probably going to talk about, oh, you're working out, you need to make sure that you rest well, or oh, I could bear to get an hour or two more sleep a night, something along those lines. Yes, that's true, but I want to take it to a deeper level. Fitness, not just in the aspect of fitness or a long day, perhaps, but also a lot of other areas in rest as well. So we got mental, spiritual, emotional, relational. There's a lot of areas where rest is really important for us. Just a sec. All right, cool. Sorry about the distraction, guys. So, a lot of different areas as far as rest goes. So, I'll talk briefly on fitness because it is important. One thing that was covered over this weekend in recertification course, or I wouldn't say course, is actually supposed to be a conference that went online this year due to COVID. One of the speakers was talking about how you'll hit a point in your fitness where you just feel gassed, you're tired, you have a plan, you've got workouts going on, but you're just starting to tap out, you're plateauing. You're in that space and place where it's just like, ooh, that's it. So I think in that regard, fitness is really important. Rest is really important because what can do the body good. I forget the saying. A little rest, and a nice meal will do the body good. I forget how that goes. It's like an old saying, but what I'm getting at specifically is with this idea is that if you get to a point where you're just exhausted physically, like your body's tired, you're sore, you've maybe been sore excessively for multiple many days, if you're doing excessive or heavy duty exercise, some good sleep, like literally just opening up your evening schedule to get some good rest and eating well, nice, well balanced meal, particularly healthy fats included, because fats are important for recovery in the body. They're responsible for transporting hormones and key micronutrients. They're responsible for replenishing the energy, healing the body, some of its healing aspects. Fats are very important. We talk a lot about omega 3s. That comes up a lot in the industry or in the industry in general, health industry, fitness, nutrition. So those kinds of things very important. One sidebar for sleep, by the way, is what I've seen as far as research. I've read it a couple different areas. What I understand is that the optimum window to get sleep is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That 4 hour window is where we get the most as far as restorative sleep. The rest of the sleep is just for duration and time, or however long you need to go to make sure that you get, what did I say, lengthened sleep that would restore you as well. But that first 4 hours is key. Now, there are people I follow on Instagram that talk about getting online, getting online. People who, what do I want to say? People who, goodness gracious, people who get up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and that is their lifestyle. Right now, for me, heck no. I could see me doing that like in my 40s or 50s maybe, but right now, no way, no how. Actually, it's funny. The industry I'm in requires that I get up sometimes at 4:30 or 5 or 6 or something along the lines. But 4 o'clock on a regular basis, no way. Like I used to sleep from 10 or 11 or 12 all the way until 8 or 9 in the morning. That was my schedule before I became a personal trainer. Now it's like somewhere between 4:30 and 6, or some days I don't have early sessions, so I get up later, get those extra few Z's in. But I'll be to bed hopefully by 9, 10, 11. Every like Friday night or Saturday night, I'll stay up late just to get a nice night in, a nice longer night in, spend time with my wife, those kinds of things. But as far as rest goes, it's good to have those 4 hours, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., and also a good schedule now, sleep schedule. Now, if for whatever reason you've got a very inconsistent schedule, maybe work has you getting up and going to bed at different times of the day, been there, done that. I was working with teams in China and Europe at the same time. So 9 p.m. at night, our time, China would be waking up and I'd be calling them to get stuff done for their day. I would go to sleep, wake up about 12 or 1, maybe 2, call Europe and Germany, get them going on stuff they need to do for their day, go back to sleep, wake up between 7 and 9 a.m. in the morning, start my business day, work all day, repeat it in some of those crazy projects I was doing in construction. Beautiful projects. I'd love to show you guys sometime. But ultimately, if you have something like that, maybe you're a flight attendant or a pilot, or you work the graveyard, so the off hours, restocking shelves at a grocery store, a big grocery store. You're driving a truck 12 hours a day. You've got some kind of crazy schedule. Okay, that might be different, but still do the best you can in this topic today to do rest. I also want to be specific about what I mean about rest. Rut row raggy, I sound like Scooby. All right, I'm going to slow myself down here a little bit. What I mean by rest is multiple things: sleep, recovery, recuperation, and active rest. Okay. Active rest, I know I'm using the word, but I'll explain what I mean. So sleep obviously is what I was just talking about. Recovery in the category of rest would be actually doing work that stimulates blood flow, stretches, repairs, massages, those kinds of things, okay, in the body. That would be something along the lines of recovery. What a what a recuperation would look like would be taking a day off from exercise, or from a busy work schedule, or from serving other people relationally, or from a trying emotional situation. Recuperation is allowing yourself to get out of whatever might be pushing you into a space or need of rest. Okay. And then active recovery, you might think this would fall into line, but this would be, this would kind of fall into the other ones, but I want to be specific about active rest. Planning spots, maybe 10, 15, 30 minutes, an hour, different spots throughout your day where you're literally shutting down and just chilling, just relaxing, like you're actively resting, not thinking about anything, not not focusing on anything. For me, what I'll do is I'll turn on a video game and just play it for a couple minutes, maybe an hour at most, just to let my brain, go. It doesn't need to be anywhere. It doesn't need to think about anything. Nintendo is trying to take all my money right now, so maybe I might have some new games by the end of the year. Freaking Nintendo, man. Keep coming out with great games. Anyway, so that's what I mean by active rest. So those would be areas or categories of rest. I meant to cover that straight up. And then when we get into the specific areas of our life, such as fitness that I talked about, or maybe mental rest. Okay, that's a big one. We are dealing with some heavy mental disruption right now. There's either side of the politics, either side of the economics, either side of the work situation, either side of the virus situation, either side of Black Lives Matter, either side of women's equality, either side of whatever it may be. We've got some serious division, which can cause some serious mental unrest, some serious spiritual unrest, some serious emotional and relational unrest. We need to get away from it all and allow ourselves some rest. And again, in those areas, okay, sleep, like I said, sleep, cut out the lights, everything, lights out. Do I have that book here? Yes, I do. So glad I do. I've mentioned this before, and I'm sure I'll mention it many times again. Sleep Smarter by Sean Stevenson. Excellent book. Really love it. I'll even talk to you a little bit about the different things that he talks about. Know the value of sleep. Avoid screens before bed. Get to bed at the right time. Have a sleep sanctuary. Have a big O. Get it blacked out. Train hard but smart. Calm your inner chatter. Use smart supplementation. There's just so much stuff in here. It's a really excellent book. It's a great read. I really liked it. His story was phenomenal. And I'll just say that it is a good book to read. In fact, maybe one of these days I'll make this a part of one of my packages that we'll have available for clients. So very important in regards to sleep, very important in regards to recuperation, mind, body, soul, heart, okay, relationships, the recovery, okay, actively recovery, maybe drills for the memory, maybe foam rolling for the body, maybe just testing or being aware of where your emotions are and allowing yourself to feel those emotions so that you can be a human being instead of a human doing, cutting off emotions. That's something I'm working on. That's why I'm sharing with you guys that idea and all the other categories. Okay, so that's kind of the full picture of rest that I'm talking about. Now, not kind of, that is the full picture of rest that I'm talking about today. So, detriments of sleep deprivation. There's a couple of things that I came across in research, and there's a little bit that I'm going to read from a article. It's from the abstract of a Nature and Science of Sleep. It was published back in May of 2017, excuse me. Goran Medic, Michelin, Willie, and Michael Hamels. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing their names correctly. I apologize if any of the three of you happen to see this in the future. My sincere apologies if my pronunciation of your names was god awful terrible. I'm so sorry. I like what you guys had to say, right? Even in your abstract, you were talking about sleep disruption is associated with increased activity of the sympathetic nervous system and hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. What does that mean? That's a lot. But what I'm going to say is that whatever those things may be, which hypothalamic, so hypothalamus, which is in the brain, pituitary, that's the gland, adrenals, another gland. Those in axis of each other. I don't know the exact specifics, but it does impact metabolic effects, changes in the circadian rhythms, the sleeping rhythms, and pro-inflammatory responses. Pro meaning for inflammation, sleep disruption, for inflammation, not good. For inflammation, pro-inflammation means potentially pro cancer, pro cardiac issues, pro hypertension, blood pressure issues, pro sugar level disruption issues. What's interesting is a lot of the different things that we face these days, 90% of those things that I mentioned, heart related issues, cancer related issues, the other sides of the rough side of health, okay, where you're in the doctor, getting the bad news. 90% of that, the onset of those things, 90% of it is due to inflammation of the gut, joints, muscle tissue, just inflammation in the body specifically. I would definitely spend some time. I encourage you to spend some time doing some research regarding inflammation. Long-term consequences, going back to the article here by the three individuals back in 2017. Long-term consequences of sleep disruption in otherwise healthy individuals, including hypertension, Dyslipidemia. I'm not sure about that one. I may have said it incorrectly. Cardiovascular disease, weight-related issues. Hey, hello, that's our area. Uh, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, mellitus, and colorectal cancer. Okay, that's an issue. Colon cancer, colorectal cancer is coming up. That's a big deal right now, right? Uh, all cause mortality, all cause mortality is also increased in men with sleep disturbances. And there's some more here that was talked about in their abstract. Unfortunately, let me do something really quick here. Just want to do this and this, pardon the delay. So, yep, so colorectal cancer, colon cancer. Okay, that unfortunately was the story of an actor that you all may know, Chadwick Boseman, and that's becoming more prevalent in people in their 40s. 40s, 40. My doctor told me when he discovered the metastasized cancer in my dad's body that it would be good for me to start looking at my prostate health as early as 40, maybe even in my late 30s. And so at the end of this decade for me, start looking at my excuse me, prostate health. That's crazy. I was 25, 6 at the time. I was like, why should I even have to think about that right now? Well, pre-existing condition from a family member, a direct family line, direct family member in the family lineage, my dad in this case, something I'm going to have to pay attention to. I'm doing my very best to make decisions, to be as proactive as possible, to be cognizant of my day-to-day actions and so forth, and so be it. But these are things to pay attention to, and sleep has a huge component to it. Detriments of sleep deprivation. Uh, aspects of sleep deprivation. Start to lose focus, including your quality of focus. Leaves key areas of the brain on an always on situation, which is not good because the brain is not recovering. And just like anything else in the body, it needs to recover, and it can only do so when you're asleep, like true recovery, true rest, true recuperation. Okay. Let's see, interrupts levels of hormones. So we're talking about serotonin, dopamine, and cortisol. Cortisol, unfortunately, is the worst part of that. If you're currently struggling with getting rid of body weight around the midsection, your lack of sleep and potentially, as a result of lack of sleep, elevated cortisol levels may be directly impacting the health of your abdomen and gut area. I would strongly encourage you, if you're one who is exercising regularly, you're eating regularly and well, and for whatever reason, you're just not able to lose that weight around the midsection. You've tried to adjust your intake levels, you've adjusted your fitness completely, you've done so many different things and haven't figured it out. I strongly encourage you to check out your cortisol levels in relationship to your sleep. Is your sleep well? Could you be sleeping better? Check those cortisol levels. It's a biomarker that your doctor can find in a blood panel test or a blood panel screen. I'm going to run through the rest of these really quick. Uh, Lack of those hormones or flux of those hormones would impact thought, mood, and energy. Reaction time slows down. That's why it's bad to drive while sleepy. Impacts memory and storing memory. Impacts judgment and decision making. Less creative, and there's a long laundry list of other things. My story for the day. In college, we were in, I think this is when we went to Indiana from Chicago. Was a little bit nervous because we heard everything about the bigotry and racism and those kinds of things in Indiana. And so a little bit nervous, me and a couple other Black or African American friends. And we made it down, made it up, no problems. But we stayed up late, but the night before we came back, and I was driving. We were in a PT Cruiser driving along. I was really tired, like extremely tired. Had no business sleeping. Both of my friends were lights out, and we were in a section of highway that was had the big orange cones. It was construction, and I was doing the best I could to stay awake, doing the slap, drinking the water, trying my best to stay awake. And I actually fell asleep at the wheel, which was stupid. I should have pulled over. I should have had one of my friends drive. It was really bad. But I actually fell asleep at the wheel for I'm not sure how long. The car veered to the left, and I smacked one of those orange cones. It blew out the side view mirror. Uh, Thankfully, it didn't mess up. It didn't blow out my window, but it was enough of a bang to wake me up and get me right back on path. Like, I mean, it had to have been within the course of maybe 5 seconds that this all happened. And that could have been exceptionally worse. My friends looked at me like I was crazy and they might kill me. However, they were half asleep, so I may have gotten away with it. I don't know. I'm sure they remember that. They probably do want to kill me to this day. Maybe I don't know. I'll have to ask them. But um, sleep deprivation is very, very bad. And if you compound it, it only gets worse. So I want to encourage you guys, and by sleep deprivation, I'm going to also say specifically your rest. Rest shows up in a lot of different areas, and that all can compound upon itself. And if you don't take the time to address this area in your life, there will be severe circumstances. Remember, sleep deprivation can impact cortisol levels. It can raise the inflammation in the body, as I was reading from the article, and we know what happens with inflammation. It's 90% of the onset to chronic diseases. We were talking about blood sugar, heart-related issues, weight loss issues, mental capacity, mental functionality. So if you're trying to be creative, if you're trying to remember things, if you're trying to thrive and not just survive in life, sleep is just paramount. Okay, if you think you can do the 4 hours a night and have a great life, perfect. You probably are a unicorn. We're going to all come and pet you and tell you how wonderful you are. And then we're going to go back to our lives and make sure we get some good sleep. Okay, so that being said, this is Ryan with Project Fresh. We're at the end of another week. It's been a great week with you guys. I'm looking forward to the next one next week. You guys will be getting an announcement on Monday as far as what we're going to be doing with our packages, our custom service and product packages starting next week. So stay tuned. Otherwise, I'm going to go chill with my wife and have a nice weekend. And I wish you guys the same. Stay safe out there. People driving crazy. People are stressed out. They're not sleeping or resting. They're totally just completely all over the place because of this election. I had one lady down in SoCal who was ranting about being a Fox News contributor because she watched the news so much. That's another thing I'll encourage you guys real quick. Stay off the news. Why do you think you're so angry? Why do you think you're so frustrated? Why do you think you're so afraid or so anxious? You pay attention to what's coming into your body. You could definitely use some rest from the media, social media, traditional media, and any of your friends or family members who seem to be a third party channel of any of those things. You could definitely use to lose that in your life for some time. I encourage you of that wherever you may stand, and I wish you the very best on your weekend. We'll see you again next week. Take care.